Hey everybody, how are we all? Hopefully that wasn't as painful for you guys as it was for me. So if it was, I'm sorry. Computer decided it wants to play up just as I go on the stream. Joys of life. It's been an interesting week here. I'm going to say quick hello to everybody. First cab off the rank is Mum and Son. I did get Pixie to go and bake a carrot cake. Unfortunately, she ate all the carrots, so there's no carrot cake. So, sorry. Um, Papa John, how are you? Ray, welcome. Curly, how are you, buddy? Um, Stormy, how are you guys? Welcome here. Thomas, welcome in the show. Kyle Stevens, how are you, buddy? Oh shit, my Ray. Figured, yeah, yeah, it's a problem if Ray's figured out the phone, eh? Um, Jerry, how are you? Nice to see you in here. And then we got Heath, how are you, buddy? Hopefully you're doing fine up there in New York. Jim Tedesco, how are you? Trey Man. Who else do I have in here? Daryl, how are you? Nice to see you in here, D-Rail Daryl. Chris from Go Via, Go Home, how are you, champion? All the way from Canada. Who else do I have in here? C&D John, how are you? There in Tennessee, nice to see you. Harry the Rail fan, nice to see you in here, buddy. Actually, I think you and me have met in person. I've just got that funny feeling. We met down at Spartanburg railway station, I believe. Randall, how are you? And to all the others that are sitting in the background, I'm still on solo. As you know, Anthony Dodge has taken a leave, vacational leave. He's back in Germany. He's heading back home this week, and caught the end of his live stream yesterday. He's got some goodies. It'd be good if you just send them over here to me. I'll test it out for him. Been an interesting week. Sorry to everybody who I haven't been into the regular live streams. I've just been busy going to doctor's appointments and whatnot this week. Also had another 3 teeth taken out. Another 3 more coming out on this coming Tuesday, my time, on Monday night, your time there in the States. And I've still got a busy week. I'm going to try to keep the stream to roughly about an hour today. I do want to get out and do more work on the layout. I'm putting the turnout motors in today. Kind of make the most of the good weather. I dropped all the drop feeds into it yesterday. It's coming along. I just want to get that ready, and I have done a little bit of work in the back room. You guys should be seeing it shortly next week or two of what I've achieved. You would have seen some of the updates on the video that I put out through the week. So yeah, again, sorry to those people that I regularly go in to see your live streams. I'm not avoiding you guys. Honestly, I've just been so flat out. I had my final assessment on my hands this week at the surgery for my hands. And bit of bad news. There's not much more he can do with it. I've basically got to bear with the pain and everything else I've got in the hand. He's done everything he can do for now. There are still a few treatments that are going to be starting next week or end of next week. I'm going to be starting on my hand. So I'm really going to be trying to work on as much as I can to get it going, to get what I want, get it all sorted. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't not smelling so far today. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a shower last night and this morning. We've had some very cold weather here, but just up from here, one of the main water pipes burst, and they went in and repaired it. And as they went to turn the water back on, the shut valve, it's decided it's going to break, so they got another water leak. G'day, Mystic. How are you? We literally didn't have much water for about 36 plus hours. As soon as they opened up the water, the fix that they had broke again next to it. Old pipes, I mean, hey. Plus, it's been cold. We've had very cold weather this week. Just up on the hill here on the other side of the ridge, we had a little bit of snow, not as probably had that much on the ground, which isn't much. It was melted. It's all gone by lunchtime. But yeah, we've yeah, I'll go back and work on a layout shortly there, Tammy. Spend a bit of time with you guys reinventing the wheel this morning. Yeah, that sounds a bit scary there, Heath. I've tried that. Actually, someone did reinvent the wheel. And they've done a damn good job of it too, I've got to say that much. Especially when the wheel goes sideways. Just excuse me for a minute, guys. Sorry, I had to yell at the little one. She's chewing up the carpet. All right. So next week, I believe I should have excuse me, Anthony back on as my co-host again. If he has recovered. What else is there? Not much else, actually. I have started pulling the roundhouse apart. I tell you what, when I put it back together, I'm going to just chewing the gut. No, she's chewing up the carpet. Maybe for dinner. Yeah, I've already had my breakfast this morning. Had my Vegemite and toast. Enjoying it while I still can. I'll put an invite up there, and anyone wants to come in and chit chat. So now, if you guys remember last weekend, I was talking about. I was doing some work. That sounds delicious. Yeah, it must be because I've got this square mats that put over the polished floor, and she's been chewing the ends of it. What happened was, if you remember last week, I was talking about when I was laying my track and sorting it all out. G'day, Randall.
Hey, Dorian.
I was looking for my insulated rail joiners. G'day, Split Rock. Welcome, bud. And I could not find them anywhere. Just to finish off, just setting out the track so I can put it down and get ready to put my drop feeds and everything else in it. Well, on Tuesday, I went to Sydney to one of my appointments, and hi behold, I've gone to the hobby shop in Sydney and Hobbyco. That's up in Town Hall. Taking 2 packs and going in my pocket to pick up to get the money out to pay for it. Guess what I find in my pocket? I found the missing packet of insulated rail joiners. It was in my pocket, my good trouser pockets all the time. I knew I had it. It was in the house. Anyway, now I've got 3. When you eat that famous day, they serve the meals in a garbage can lid. So that would be actually quite interesting, Dwight. Yeah. Not seeing me. Oh, geez. I know it's another thing over there, Tammy, over in the US, but over here, we've seen people walking in the supermarkets and down the street at BJ's. It's nothing unusual. I did work on my layout yesterday. I did start early and early-ish, but unfortunately, we got the daytime solstice, which is basically the shortest day of the years. Next couple of days, so only get roughly about 8 hours of work outside before it gets cold, and we've been getting some cold weather lately. So anyway, enough of my rambling. How have you been, Randall? You been all right this week, bud?
Doing pretty good, Artie. It's been really slow on the work front, but other than that, I can't complain too much as of right now.
G'day, Sean. Ricard, how are you? Yeah, rabbits do, but I mean, she's got enough chew toys as it is all over the place. But for some reason, she just insists on chewing the corner of the carpet, just around the edges, and then takes the top off and just leaves the rubber underneath. But it's all right. My landlord's not going to take that out of my security deposit because it's not his. So, yeah, this week I'm going to... I don't know how I'm going to do this week. I mean, I've got 3-4 days worth of running around to do. So I'm trying to get my layout up, and I'm hoping to get it all. The two top sections, central station sections that I'm doing, I'm hoping to have them wired up, bring them inside, and just put them up on the shelf out the way until I've finished the roundhouse during the nights. The bridge collapsing and the train going into it. No, I didn't see that. Hopefully everybody's okay and no one's seriously hurt or killed in it, and that doesn't sound. Yeah, we've I was thinking about doing some train spotting and doing some going out and about, but they're doing a lot of track work. They're catching up on a lot of repairs because as some of you might be aware, some of you might not be aware, our railway system here is owned by the government, and the maintenance is paid by the government, and they've actually they've neglected some jobs, some areas. So we're not. So they're catching up on a lot of the track work. Let me just go up here. Rabbits poop 2 different kinds of poop. Yes, that's right, Dwight. Yeah, but did you know that the rabbit poop actually looks like what is it? What's that? What's that cereal, Daryl, that you eat over there? That's little chocolate balls.
Hey, Daryl.
Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Randall. Hello, everybody in chat.
How are you?
Good evening.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Yeah.
Since I wasn't the host, I'm not eating the cookie tonight.
No, well, I did tell Pixie to do a carrot cake for Tammy and Ray, but she ate all the ingredients, so sorry. Missed out. Even I missed out on the carrot cake. Yeah. Banana cake, geez, banana didn't last either. Oh no, here's the trouble. Here's more trouble. Thomas, how are you?
All right, how's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, Thomas.
I had a very interesting phone call about you the other day. Yesterday from Melbourne.
From who?
I got a friend of mine who subscribed to your channel down at Melbourne, and they go, "How dare does he do that to a Victorian train?"
Yeah.
if anyone's been watching, Thomas has been doing a suburban car. Carrot cake for the frosting. Yeah, me too, Split Lock. If anyone's been watching, they should see Thomas is actually. Thomas is actually making a suburban underground rail car, and he's 3D printing a model that is actually a replica of one of the ones in Melbourne, suburban cars. And he's modified the design on it. I mean, and I just had that little laugh about it because it's so funny. Because I do have some Victorian rail fans in, and I say, "How dare does he do that? That doesn't look prototypical." And they go, "Well, Melbourne's getting rid of him. He's acquired him, and he's doing it to suit his railway needs. If he's got 2 pantographs, it's got 2 pantographs. So what? It's his layout." Yeah, they are actually those models that you're doing, Thomas, are actually getting phased out in the next 9 months, 10 months. They're actually being replaced. So yeah, nice model.
Yeah, well, when you make your own models, that's fine.
I just wish that Ron, how are you? I just wish that the guy that actually that done the front on the cab of that passenger set would do the original version, because the original version is just a little bit different on the front. But I was going to print one up, but my printer, as you guys know, all failed.
See, these are the decals that I got to put on.
Hang on. Let me have a look at the decals. Hang on. Okay. Let's have a look.
They're the decals that I got to put on them.
Are they your decals?
Yeah. And, Jim Tedesco printed these for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Because I was going to print them at work, but I never got a chance to do it, so he printed them for me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. But I'm going to put them on last because I got to do a lot of work on them. I don't want to get my hands on the decals.
Yeah, you get that. But yeah, that's going to look really good. And there goes my orange engine again. I need to put black on that. I didn't think my layout looked so good. Sean, could we all see that model, please? He wants to have a look at it. Have you got the model handy there? Sean Ricard would like to see what you're doing. Actually, it'd be nice to see how far you got with it.
What, the model?
Yeah, the model that you've done. That you're working on.
Well, this here is the car. It's upside down because I have parts laying.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that. Put it on.
Now he's lost it. You didn't have to do that. Yeah.
And that slides on the chassis, and then the decals go on between the windows, and then the blue strip goes on the top, across there.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's
what have you done? You got 2 power cars and a middle center car, or?
Yeah, I got two passenger cars and 2 engines.
now are those printed
Yeah, they're all printed. Yep.
by you, right?
Right.
Wow, great job, Thomas.
Because they down in, I'm just give you a heads up. Like in the Victorian or the Melbourne prototype, they're actually hooked up as a 3-car set.
Yeah.
You got 2 power units at one end and a car in the middle.
Right.
And they actually do them as a 3-car set, and it's easily converted into a 6-car set.
Yeah. Well, the one subway train I have has 4 cars. One's the engine and then 3 cars. But then, and I forget how much I paid for that. But, I said, "Oh, I'm going to make these instead of buying another set." The engines in the front and the rear go backwards and forwards.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get back to Joe on that mech that you're talking about. And this guy looks like he's doing a bit of work too. I'll send you some of my cars over there, Randall.
I'll see what I can do, Artie.
Okay, cool. All right. Haven't done in a week for us, will you, please, mate? That'd be good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have plans to get things done quickly, there's something comes along and throws a spanner at works where it slows things down. So really, I mean, what is it with June now? So I really got to pull the finger out the next few days. I mean, I am winning. I am getting on top of things. I mean, the two sections are slowly coming together. We had 3 days of bad weather, so I couldn't work on it outside, but I have been able to do work on preparing a wiring harness for the turntable tracks in the roundhouse. The roundhouse is broke some of it apart and modifying it. This about 2-3 days this week, I've spent some time on that. By pulling it out and just modifying what I need and put the lights in it and put it back into place. If I feel up to it, I might even cheat and just put the lights in and don't worry about putting the pits because I can't find the box with all the because I don't know if some of you guys have the Walthers roundhouse kits. They've actually got a pit inside it, and I packed it all, that kit box away somewhere, and no, it's not in my pocket, and I can't find the box. So I'll be spending probably tomorrow morning and afternoon, or morning tomorrow, I'm going to be looking for that box. If I can't find it, then the roundhouse stays where it is, and I'll just put the internal lights as they are. I'm trying. Yeah, it's fun and games. You know what it's like building a layout.
Well, yeah, a lot of times you can't find things you want. Always has some problem finding things. Then, oh, there it is. And you find it.
Well, the other thing is, hang on, I'll be back in a minute. I'll show you the other thing I've done. Just give me a sec.
Hey Thomas, did you just recently print those models out?
Yeah, I just printed them out a while ago, about a couple weeks ago.
I figure while I got time, I better get the couplers put on a couple of these engines.
Is that some new tools and couplers you got there, Randall?
Yeah, these here's 118 SF double shelf couplers. That's going to go on this Burlington Northern ES 44 AC, and there's a few cars that's going to get them as well. What I'm going to do is modify these couplers to make a bottom shelf F-type coupler, and then this guy here, it's just going to get regular 158s. But what I use the dikes for is to cut the top shelves off of these couplers, as well as cut the trip pins off of them. So,
well, if you're not doing
I'm gonna run and grab some files right quick.
Yeah, if you're not doing any switching, I mean, they come in hand. You don't need the trip pins. Did you ever, Chris? Randall, did you ever finish or fix that one, like you were telling me about? Maybe back. We'll ask. I'll put that up there for him. Until he comes back, to show you the other thing that I worked on. Now, one thing I have been done on the bottom section of my layout is I'll make these little terminal blocks, and what C's used for is you know how you've got the drop feeds that come in down from the track. And what I try to do is I try to put everything in the one section and try to keep it tidy. And I make these up myself. It cost me probably about $10 or so with circuit board, which is pre-printed circuit board and the screw-in terminal block. So what I do with this one here, I use these ones for my negative feed. So all my negative wires come in here, will be black wire, and that can be put anywhere on the layout. The red wire is going where what I use to isolate the joins or the blocks, that's going to a separate section. But I was trying to find my circuit boards. I had a heap of these terminal blocks, but I couldn't find the circuit board. So I end up having to race out and buy one, and had to catch the bus. So I did have a car. So glad I got my cookie. What's that? Okay, guys, I'm going to get things settled in the house. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Tammy.
Good night,
Thank you.
Tammy and Ray.
Thank you so much for the gift that you sent me in the mail. I'll show this before you go. Thank you so much. It arrived the other day, so I'm really fleet colours, almost. Thank you. Now this is going to go on a Christmas tree when I get one up. That the rabbit wanted to chew down. But yeah, have a good night, Tammy. Now is yeah. So Randall, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. So our buddy Chris from Govia is asking, did you finish that Laco you were telling him about?
Yeah, it's finished, Chris. It's finished and it's back running again. I had to put a whole new set of axles underneath of it. They didn't have the standard axles, but I could use ready to roll axles underneath of it. They fit just like the old ones do. So yeah, it's back running, Chris, and it runs good. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm still. I mean, I like it. I like those orange cars that you got there, Daryl.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Especially the way they've been patched out. That looks really neat. That.
Yeah, they're tangents. They are a very nice car. They're pretty darn
Tangent's
long.
good brand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be working on that. The harnesses are 90% done. So once I get the turnout motors into place, I'll it won't take me long to hook it all up. Is that an SD40 from a recent run of Red to Run, Kyle?
Yeah, this is from last year, I believe. Tilt the camera up there, but
hang on, let me make it bigger. There you go.
Yeah, that's from a run from last year, Artie.
Yeah.
It's got the soundtracks. I believe they call it the Economy decoder in it. So it's a good running engine. Well, what I like is the little strobe lights that's on the front of it that flash when you blow the horn. So
yeah, it's a nice feature. Hey, okay, guys, I got a question for everybody.
All right.
What's a good switcher engine number? like a SW15 or an S7, SW7, or how about a GP9? Are they good for switchers?
Yeah, SW1500s, SW7s, NW2s, MP15s. Those are all good switch-ins. Even GP9s and SD9s make good switchers.
What was the ST what?
Be a SD7 or SD9.
ST9 and ST7.
Yeah.
And the other one you said NW something?
Yeah, they got like a NW2 and then an MP15. And then SW1500s are good ones.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm up for my yard. I want to get a little bit bigger engine on the switcher I have. Mine's a little one.
Shoot, even SD38-2s would be good yard switchers.
ST38?
Yeah. Frisco had 4 of them that they used exclusively for yard switching. Of course, now they're part of BNSF's fleet now, but those are almost exclusively used as hump yard switchers.
That's another couple of engines that I wouldn't mind getting, but in Norfolk Southern colours. The SD38s.
Even these guys here would be good for yard switchers.
Yeah, I'd like to get a pair of them in the CSX and the YN2 colour scheme with the grey, because that's basically the area that I model up to that. But I can't allocate funds to it at the moment. And by the time I do have funds, they won't be available. But, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose, at times, eh?
Yep.
I don't think Thomas has a hump yard yet. That's yet.
Well, actually, when I said that already, Frisco, the hump yard that Frisco used theirs on was in Memphis, Tennessee,
Right.
and I think the one in Tulsa is a flat switching yard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. The hump yard we did have up in Sydney, that's been that they removed that. There's a freeway going over the top of it now. The only hump yard that's still available in the country is actually there's 2. One in Adelaide, just outside of Adelaide, but they don't use it anymore. And g'day, Les. How are you, bud? Hopefully you're warming up there a bit. And then Melbourne, they got a hump yard in Melbourne, but they have not used that for nearly 20 years. They used it for about 2 years when it got installed, and that was the end of it. Actually, Melbourne had 2 hump yards. They built a new one outside the city of Melbourne, and they only used that for a few months, and then you shut it down. It's only a storage siding now for passengers. 10 degrees Celsius. Jesus, warmer down here than it is up there, Les. It's 14 here at the moment and still climbing, so it's going to be a nice day here.
Hey, Dusko, how you doing?
Oh, okay. So you don't like their auto racks there, Darryl. That's interesting.
Well, it's not that I don't like it's just like I said, what I typed in. That took me 2 minutes to type because everybody was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt. Chris, I just basically stick to the locomotives. I really have no opinion on their new refrigerator cars. The refrigerator cars that I do have are tangents, and I love them. They're absolutely they run fine. They run good. The few auto racks that I got from scale trains, they just didn't seem to want to stay on the track for some unknown reason. They're, to me, a lot lighter. But all the auto racks that you see in if I run them are all Walther's Proto. I really like the Walther Protos for the auto racks. So I know, Chris, that probably doesn't really help you much, but there you go.
Yeah. I do have skull cranes, reefer carts, the reefer containers. They sound pretty.
That's interesting. I haven't had any issues with my auto racks. The two scale trains ones I have.
Really?
Split Rock is asking Thomas a question. What era do you normally model?
The modern era.
The modern era.
Yeah. 1970 and above.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's how I kind of collect too, Split Rock. Just about now. That's not saying I don't have anything older than that, because obviously, where'd my A unit go? Because obviously, I do have F units. So even though
you're welcome, Chris. Yeah, and I do own some Intermountains, and for some reason, I don't run the Intermountains either because of just what you said. They break really easy, and I find parts laying on the tracks, and they derail my trains. And that's also true with maybe some of my tangents. And I know this has been a discussion. You know, the more detailed parts that you have on a car, you can find them laying in the tracks sometimes. And it's like I try to be very careful in handling, let alone trying to weather them. You know.
let's see.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I end up packing up a lot of my fine detail stuff, because you have them out and the detail on them just keep breaking. And by the time you got a nice layout, you're spending probably about half the time fixing up on the old fixing up all the brake. You can take. I'm an idiot down there. Oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, I'm sorry, but you know we love you, Mystic. I'm an idiot at times too, mate. But so we're not going to have a competition on it today, eh? But we all mess up. I mean, the terminologies that we use here in Australia is a little bit different than what that you guys use in the US. But I tell you what, there are times when depending on where you go, particularly in America, you got to sit down and think about, now, what are they talking about? Even though you're supposedly English, because you guys use some different words and terminologies, particularly in the railways. I've got to. Okay, now what were they talking about? Hang on, let me try to retranslate that in my head. For young boy, say 1970s, it's a modern era. Yeah, well, I'm lucky. Like, okay, I am doing my American stuff, but a lot of the other train operations I've got to do is Australian stuff. As I said, I'm sticking to pretty much from mid-late 60s up to about 92, because, as I said, we had one colour scheme that stays throughout that whole period. Even though we might end up having different motive power up the front, particularly towards the early 80s and mid-80s, we had different motive power. But we had Tuscan red and the Indian red colours hang around to about 92, 93. So I'm lucky I can expand in that whole era. The US models, well, basically from 71, 72 onwards, Yes, I know there's different color schemes, but I try to get into those modeling, that era when a lot of the railroad companies were still haven't standardized their color scheme in their fleet. So you can get away with basically what the way it is modern day running. Like you're seeing locomotives that are pulled from other railroad companies. Like you see on Darrell's layout now, you have the what is the CN with a couple of other engines that you got there.
Well, right now I got I got kind of like a Canadian theme going on.
Well, that's it.
And that's,
it was actually interesting because I'm
Yeah.
waiting for a very good friend of mine, or he's like a brother to me, in West Virginia. There was talk about a couple of BNSF locos there hooked up to a CS6 engine, working on a CS6 system. So really, I'm waiting for him to bring up some photos of that, because I tell you what, they'll make an interesting photo.
It's strange. I mean, I really like the NS scheme. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Canadian Pacific. It's simple. I do like these CN locomotives. I like their paint scheme. And when I saw that orange J, the Canadian Heritage, I just fell in love with that one. So that's why I've been kind of sticking to it, and because I like to see the concepts. That's the neat thing about my layout. I'm in no era. I mean, I just say present. So whatever present means is exactly what I see in modern day today. And I could run anything and everything on my layout because I see it like that every single day. I'm really surprised what I see on the railroad. I mean, I'll see CN with NS in my area hooked up with UP. Every once in a while, I'll see a Ferromax. I mean, it's just nice. So that's the way I run my layout. It is expensive because, because I like to buy different locomotives. So,
well, I try to collect mostly what I grew up seeing. Like this engine here. Some of the early BNSF stuff, especially the Heritage 2. But I also do collect a lot of what's running now. So
you can't not go wrong with the RTRs. You really can't. For what, $190, you get everything that you could possibly want. Really, you get the sound. I mean, you get a decent looking locomotive and detail parts, and yours even came with ditch lights.
And a little fantasy doesn't hurt every once in a while either.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, g'day, Ohio Steam and Steel. How are you, buddy? When we were talking about when we start talking about product like regions to model, like I never really picked up an area. I knew I wanted to do somewhere up in the Appalachian Mountains, but since I've been hanging around a lot in the Spartanburg area, I wished I'd collected more of the Norfolk Southern engines, because okay, I model a CS6, but there is a lot of Norfolk Southern there, and they cross over one another. Like particularly going south. There's a south. Hang on. Yeah, going sort of like, well, they say south or north. Going south in particular. Between Spartanburg and Greenville, they're going through an old area, and CSX and Norfolk Southern when they acquired a lot of the lines, a lot of that section now, the trains go over the top of one another. Easy to bring for me. Well, yeah, I mean, really, you can mix in with a lot of the NS black units together, and they blend in nicely. And I tell you what, they're nice to weather too. But eventually, I'll get that. I'll get it done. Now, I'm talking about layouts. I am going to finish this one here, but I'm going to do in a way where I can expand on it. I will be moving from here probably towards the end of next year. And there's a couple of places I'm looking at moving to.
Why are you moving?
Just too expensive. I'm sick of renting. I'm sick of renting. And I'm getting paid out for my accident. So with the money I'm getting from my accident, I am going to be buying a house with a decent sized shed. So I'm going to build my dream layout. So I'm going to get people like you, Daryl, and a few others. I'm going to chip in an airfare and send you guys over to help me build it. We'll have it all up and going in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
You need the Army Corps of Engineers to get it up in 3 weeks.
Hey, well, the material will be there. We just need a helping hand. So the way my lawyer is working on things now, because I can't really do my tractor on the way I used to, particularly where my hand is. G'day, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
So what they're trying to do, they are trying to pension me out. So that's going to be very, very helpful. I'm going to still do some work, but they're going to pension me out. They're basically going to pay me out to my pension day, so I can go into early retirement. Hello, Robin. How are you, darling? Hopefully you're well down up there.
Hello, Robin.
I know you've
Hey,
been
Robin.
25 degrees Celsius up there.
Hi, Robin.
So yeah, so that's what the plan is. Next year, end of next year, we'll be moving to West Australia. One location, because I've been looking at house prices. I've been looking at round about the Port Augusta area. Now, near the Port Augusta, there will be a lot of the trains that are going across to Perth and the Darwin and double stacked trains. So it's going to be a reasonably good area. It's basically a railroad town, which is borders to the remote outback. The nearest main city will be Adelaide. It's reasonably nice. Reasonably hot during summertime. Doesn't snow there at winter time. It does get a little bit coolish. But I'll be able to retire there nicely and comfortable. I do have some friends still there. They're still alive. The last time I checked. That was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Steam. I like this engine a lot. That's one of the legendary liveries engines that Athearn came out with. I think about a couple years ago now, but it is. And it's not really that far off if BM was still around, what their engines might look like. And this is one of my favorite iterations of the BM paint scheme, because it may be a little hard to see because of the lighting, but if you actually look right here where the green and the black separate, there's this little white pinstripe that runs along the top here.
That's a nice touch.
And I really like that paint scheme. Now the original version would have been like, well, let me see if I can turn this engine around here. Where you see right here where the number boards would be and everything, this would be white, like like this engine.
Yeah.
So if this were 100% original, or the original concepted scheme, you would have this white pinstripe run down the side, and then this area right here would be white. So, but still a really cool look. And of course, instead of the white stripes on the nose, you would have the large BN Herald on the nose. So
is that model a Athearn or is that a Skulltrain?
it is an Athearn Genesis.
You know, I'd love to get a pair of those and paint up in my orange and black color scheme. I reckon it'll look good.
Yeah, what I like about the Athearns is they put the soundtracks to Tommy Two's.
And the one thing I can't figure out, Artie, when Athearn was bringing these out, people were just clowning on them on Facebook for doing this, and I don't understand why. I personally like these things.
You know, it goes back.
And they still do, really, but
yeah. Most of the models from the US are reasonably priced, but they're reasonably reliable. There's always going to be difference between the manufacturers. That's the same as what with Ford and Chevy. There's always going to be a difference between them. They're both good vehicles, right? But there's a preference. Right. There are preferences that I like that this guy doesn't like, and vice versa.
Right.
You know.
Well, here's the way I look at it, Ari, with these fantasy schemes. For every one of these they do, there's probably 6 or 7 prototype schemes they've got out.
Yeah.
But yet when they do this one prototype scheme, everybody flips out and they think they're going to quit doing prototype engines. And you know, it's I don't know.
I actually like. I wonder who's going to do the CSX's Chessy scheme. I tell you what, that looks sexy. That looks.
If I had to put my money, Ari, I would say Scale Trains, because they've got the tooling for the CSX Gevos. Already.
I'm going to send him an email and request him to hold off for 12 months.
Artie, I think he'll be longer than 12 months for them to come out. I don't think you got anything to worry about that.
I don't think
something is
for 100 years to get a request there. Why would they stop making production just for one person?
So I can buy some. Someone done this says just so I don't miss out, you know. So that's why it's just a request. I'm not telling him to. I'm just a request. I mean, there's no harm in asking.
No harm in asking. But if I was the CEO of Scale Trains, I'd look at that letter and just laugh.
Well, good.
Yeah.
You're going to have a good laugh, hey? I mean, hey, you can sometimes make dumb comments or a smart remark. Like,
well, what I would do is say, okay, this guy can't afford my engines. I'll send him a couple.
But you never know what the outcome is. Like, I've done it twice, and I tell you what, both times I won. Now, like Daryl, he'll probably know, like your big brake drums in your trucks. I went through a batch of them where they kept on splitting and cracking and whatnot. And where I used to get more my truck parts from, I mean rigs for the Americans, I thought I'd be a smart aleck and go, hey, can I get a trade in on these brake drums? And he goes, just being sarcastic and being smart. And he goes, yeah, we'll give you $30 a brake drum.
Yeah, that was something you already bought from them. That's different.
Yeah, but trading in the old one for a new one.
Yeah, that's fine.
The old ones are scrap. They're only as good as scrap. And he goes, oh, yeah, no, we'll give you $30 for it. Oh, hang on, let me go home and pick them up. Or I went to a bottle shop not far from here. And I went to get a packet of cigarettes, and I seen these little half cans of pre-mixed drinks. So there was Bundaberg and gin. I think it was dried gin or something in it. It was just little sample cans, half cans. And I go, oh, geez, all those free samples. And it goes, yeah, do you want a couple? I thought they were going to be, put up for sale. I go, oh, free samples. I go, yeah, here, take two.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, I mean, g'day, Mike. How are you? It could be a bit of a
Good morning, Mike.
sarcastic, smart remark, but you never know unless you put it out, eh? So some of us got to do the push. Yeah. Isn't that right, Daryl?
Yeah, agreed. I definitely agree with Chris from Go Vehicle Home. It's really hard, especially like he said, with all the cool stuff that's coming out. I mean, it's hard not to want to buy, but believe it or not, I didn't receive a box in the mail this week. That's probably the first time in like 6 months. I got so many boxes I haven't even opened up. They've been sitting for months. I don't even know what I bought 6 months ago because they're still sitting in the box.
Wife's got it. She's hiding it for you. She's going to give it to you for Christmas.
This is an addictive hobby.
It is
very, very addictive.
Any hobby is actually.
Well, yeah, and that's true. But I would rather be addicted to this than something else. Say like, alcohol or drugs or something like that. At least I have something to show for it.
Yep. That's what I always tell people, Daryl. I said the reason why I'm into trains and not drinking or anything else is because you can wake up 50 years from now, the trains are still going to be here.
Yeah.
If you take care of them.
If you drink,
I said if you're addicted to alcohol and everything else, you basically have nothing to show for it, and you have a hangover all the time. So
right, exactly.
I don't drink much, but I don't gamble either. Okay, I do have a bad habit of smoking, but we all have that. But at the end of the day, it's like, as you say, well, at least we've got something to show for it at the end. But I'll just
Les says, Darrell, you got too much dinero. No, that's dinero for my kids' college fund. So I'm spending their college fund.
Yeah, no, they've been acting up, so he's spending.
Young guys still have
he's spending their kids' inheritance.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's spending the kids' inheritance. But you see, Chris, yeah, there is a lot of cool stuff coming out. But one thing that I'm finding annoying is we've got one company in here. I'm not going to mention their name. There's one company in here. They're doing reruns. They're doing 5 different reruns all at the same time. And they want they're all run by end of this month. It's like, how can anyone afford it? Because they're basically giving those people that missed out last time. There's at least 3 models that I want to get, but I just can't afford it. $1,400.
Split rock.
Yeah.
No, but it's so true. I mean,
I looked at the XBT set they're redoing. They're doing a rerun on. It's 5 cars with the 2 operating power units. They want $1,500 Australian for it. It's like, I can't afford that. Not at the moment.
Well, that's not the only hobby I have. I have a marine salt aquarium where I actually grow reefs, corals, etc., and that's in my living room. It's a 450 gallon. It's like 8 feet long, 3 feet. It's like 3 feet wide, almost 3 feet tall. And the only thing that is made here in America on it is the glass. It's everything else is German. Everything else in the aquarium is German. The lights, the pumps, everything. And then of course, when I get it, it's not in English. It's all German. So, but luckily, I have the know-how and how to set it all up. But
yeah, totally, Les. With the price of the Australian stuff, it's just crazy. There is a there is another company in here in Australia that's doing the what are they? I think they're about 35-foot passenger cars. They used to run in my era. For each carriage, they want $145 for a
Oh, I don't
passenger.
doubt it.
I'm
So
like,
I'm not
really?
understanding something. What's the difference in Australia prices? Are you talking about buying cars and locomotives?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
a
So
hundred.
what's okay? So what's the difference? Okay, so an Athearn Genesis or scale trains, they're about around $300. Okay, that's DCC, and you get a nice locomotive.
It's
Okay,
three
so
hundred over here. $300 is without a DCC chip in it, without a sand chip in it. Add another $200 on top for a sand chip in them.
are you serious?
Yeah,
Holy mackerel! Wow.
How
yeah.
much did you say that was, Artie?
For Sandtrax Dakota at the moment, the Tsunami 2, you're looking over 200, an average price about $230 a Dakota.
Okay,
Hey,
just
damn,
like okay.
ESU
So,
is now hitting $190, $200 mark as well.
wow, you guys,
that's
500, yeah,
insane.
$500. Wow.
Um,
That's almost double the price all we pay for our engines.
oh yeah,
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 absolutely, Randall.
yeah. Um, yeah, and it's no joke. I mean, we're not making this stuff up. 140. I'll show you this one here. Okay, this is an older one, but the carriage I'm looking at is only probably about this big, right? 145, $150 for one carriage. Now, one of these, and that's just your baggage car or guards van,
Yes.
you're looking at $120, $130 for it. Okay, the detail's not bad on it. That's not badly priced, but for the other ones that are smaller than this,
Wow.
which I would like to get because it's my area, my area and era, 145 is like no way.
That's crazy. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Um, that's why I ended up going back to. I started buying some of the stuff when it was affordable, um, but I've stopped. I'm going back in American stuff. That's why my layout is done up so I can run both Australian and American. That's why I got the lot of the both sides. And I literally had to, for me to finish my layout, I literally had to,
That's wise.
stop buying models. G'day, Scott.
Hey,
Well, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you
hello,
in here.
Scott. So Les, if the last one cost you 65 for freight from scale trains, that you're still doing a little bit better because it depends on where you get the scale trains from. Generally, I buy mine from Lombard Hobbies, usually. So, it costs me like $20 to have it sent from there to California. So $65 from there to Australia is not really that bad.
Yeah. See, at the moment, what are we at? 66 cents to American dollar. So
Well, don't worry, that's all going to change.
So we're roughly paying. We're losing about. We got to add an extra 40 cents to every dollar we spend in America at the moment. Runs why you have to stop buying models and invest in the track. And why? Well, that's right. That's what I had to do. I had no choice. Particularly the way I want to run it, I actually had to stop. The prices for new production is why we have such. Yeah, that's right, Rob. But then again, you have some people here that go, go a little bit stupid too. There are some people that they haven't got a brain when it comes to when you see when they're bidding online for when you see guys bidding for I'll take this engine for example. Where are you? Okay, everyone see my Citroen's new 44 class, right? When you can get this from the retailer for $350 each, then you see them going bidding online. You still buy them from retail, but when you see these on eBay, people are bidding over $600-700 for it. You know?
What does that say? Ossision?
Ossision, yeah.
Okay, so that is that
That's
a manufacturer in Australia?
in Australia, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, but see, for this one here, they're doing $400 for this engine.
Okay.
With DCP ready to go. Right. But people are bidding online for these engines, still in a box, $700-800 they're spending on them. I mean, really, why do you want to bid that high when you can still buy cheaper brand new ones? But yeah, postage is a bit of a killer for you, Les. I've actually found, Les, just for your information, I've been buying a lot of my stuff now from I have been buying for a while from Train World in New York, and they are now shipping their stuff from over there to Australia by FedEx. Maybe a little bit dearer, but all around about the same as the postage cost. But it gets here, and it gets here within about. Well, it gets to my place. It gets to my place within a week, just over a week. For you, it'd be probably an extra 3 days. Yes, and well, that too. We're gonna be doing a rerun. Yeah, that's another thing too. I've been stocking up. Yeah, it is a great topic. You see, I bought a lot of the bigger engines for the future, for my future layout. Which is going to be a lot bigger than my bedroom one, of course. You know, there's stuff that I like, I'll grab it what I could. Because I'm knowing between them being manufactured, it's going to be a long time, but I got them. I pretty much got everything. I've got all my freight cars pretty much that I want, and particularly with the American ones. And the good thing about the area that I model, I can switch the engines on the front of it. It doesn't. It can be a CSX or an Norfolk Southern engine because I do interchange a lot down in Spartanburg. Yeah, well, I still their stuff's good, and the warranty is good. That engine that I showed, that's a replacement. Yeah, I deal with them too, Les, but their stuff takes forever. Where was I? Code text later. Yeah. Well, so we only have to pay. Yeah, that wind's picking up. So I bought everything that I want, except for the Norfolk Southern engines. But I'm going to leave that until the layout is pretty much done. I might get probably about 4 or 5 NS engines. But it's not my priority at the moment. My priority at the moment is trying to get the line going, getting the track laid. It's going to be point to point as well as continuous. and I'm going to have to call it quits very shortly and go and do a bit of work on it. Otherwise, I'm never going to do. Yeah, I got to get the whole heap of stuff from more Atlas track from Train War 2, Les. I've got to actually, what's his name in Frontline Hobbies in Newcastle. Actually, Les, that might be good for you. They've actually got a good price on track too, if you need it. I've got a shipment coming. I've got an order. It's be coming here into this week, and all that track is for the next section. So I just gradually get all the bits and pieces, and when I'm ready, I've pretty much got it here. Just don't misplace it. It does. I mean, this layout here is basically the same thing with me, Split Rock. I mean, the bottom layer was a learning curve, and now I just basically fine tune it as I'm going along.
Okay.
Yeah, hand laying track, I don't have the time and patience. And now if my hands going to be failing even more, I'm just not going to be able to do it. So it's like Pico, it's like McDonald's. You got one in every corner.
What the heck?
Oh, that's all right, Robin. I'm going to call it quits anyway, darling, because I want to get outside and do some work on the layout while it's all together. Because I've only got probably about 4 and a half, 5 hours of daylight. Do you mind? Okay, the line that I do here is basically the line between Sydney and Wollongong towards where I am. And then the area that I model in the US basically covers seaboard, mainly seaboard, but from Spartanburg, from the south. I can't talk today. The surroundings of Spartanburg in Greenville region, which is CSX, Chelsea, Seaboard, Atlantic Coast Line, Southern. There's about 10 railroad companies that are going to go into that one area. Yeah, I've my layout's going to be able to be done, so it can be pulled apart. Yeah, code 100. I use code 100 on my track basically because some of the older stuff I've still got, like my Lima carriages, they need, because they got deep flanges on their wheels. With code 83 and under, as they go along, they sound like they've actually derailed. And nothing like a train that sounds like derailing going through a tunnel. So, yeah. All right, guys. Next week, well, I think we should be a little bit longer because we're going to have the other co-host back again. Of course, he'll be telling us a lot about his trip to Europe. So I've got to want to get out and get as much done on my layout. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining my live stream this week.
Appreciate it, Artie.
It was great having you all here. It's great hanging out with you all. So look after each other through the week. Support each other's channels, and have fun. Stay safe, and see you guys all soon.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.